Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I'm an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on Watch Barbara Knit. Make sure to check in the description below the video where you can see all my social media shenanigans, find out where to get patterns of mine you can knit up for yourself, how to join the Watch Barbara Knit Facebook group, and how to support me on Patreon. Today, I am trying something brand new since I have been doing a lot of Zooming with teaching classes and just, talking to people who I don't get to talk to in other way. I found out that you can record your Zoom, and I decided that it might be fun to try to do some interviews with other designers and people in the fiber industry. And I specifically thought it'd be great to talk to people who know stuff that I don't know. Since I started the survey questions where you can ask Barbara anything about knitting, I'm finding there's a lot of those questions that I don't have answers for at all because I don't know everything, believe it or not, right? So we're starting off today with a wonderful designer and very good friend of mine, Fatima Hines. You probably would, that's her, say hi. You probably, if you've looked at any of my patterns, might recognize her. She very graciously was the beautiful face that wore all of my patterns for the longest time when we both lived in Atlanta and I left, and I'm very sorry I left. It's very sad, but we had a wonderful exchange where she would model for my patterns and I would photograph her patterns. She was the model, but she was wearing her designs. And I personally think I got the bonus part of that. I got the good end because she modeled for me. And so we're going to talk about her designs. And one of the big things I wanted to talk to her about that I think she knows way, way, way better than me is styling, how to style your knits. And then she also designs garments. Y'all know I don't do garments. So, okay, I'm still talking. I need to stop. Okay, Fatima, say hi.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Barbara.
Hi. So I wanted to have some icebreaker questions. And I thought I might try to ask these questions about for multiple people. And I wanted to ask controversial knitting questions. So
I do love a controversy.
So the first one is toe up or cuff down for a sock?
Goodness gracious. Oh, I'm gonna say toe up. I prefer knitting them and I prefer designing toe up socks.
There we go. Now the next one is for garments. In the round or pieced?
In the round. I will pick up stitches along an entire sleeve to not have to seam together.
There we go.
None of my roads lead to seaming if I can avoid it.
When you have to switch to smaller diameters, you do DPNs, magic loop, or maybe 2 circulars. What technique do you use to knit little in the round?
I'm a magic loop girl. DPNs are last resort, and almost none of my roads lead to that resort.
I find they work very well as shawl pins.
They do. They do. And hair pins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you are knitting, do you like to listen to audiobooks, binge TV, listen to music? What do you do to fill in that extra time?
Ooh. It's usually binge TV because I find that music isn't holding quite enough of my attention because only my ears are being involved. So watching TV would get my ears and my eyes involved so that my hands can kind of do their thing. I have listened to audiobooks, but for me, finding an audiobook to listen to is like when you're on Netflix and you're trying to find a thing to watch right now, and like an hour later, you've watched 10 trailers. That's my audiobook life. So usually it's binge watching a show that I've already started and I can just keep going.
Yeah, it's almost as dangerous as YouTube. You get on YouTube and you're looking for something. And we've talked about this. I'm looking for something and somehow always after about a half an hour, I'm watching Janet Jackson videos. I don't know why, but I'm always watching Janet Jackson videos. I'm like, Rhythm Nation, yes,
all the time. Every time I'm on YouTube, I'm like, Barbara would be watching Janet Jackson by now.
100%. It's just where everything ends. Because it's actually recently I watched Shakira, which it's the dancing. Ugh, I love the dancing. Okay, that was a total tangent. Okay, so one of the things I was hoping you would talk about, and you have such a different approach to designing. I did a video that was, what kind of knitter are you? Are you a process or a project knitter? Where do you feel that you're more of a process or a project knitter?
I actually don't quite understand what people mean when they say that.
Well, so what it is people, a lot of knitters, they fall on a spectrum. I mean, it's not like you're definitively one or the other, but it's what is your goal with knitting? Is for process knitters, it's that the process of knitting is what they're enjoying doing, and they really could care less what the end result is. And then project knitters are people who really, really want that end whatever, and kind of tolerate the knitting on the way to getting, it's like, I want that sweater, I need it in my wardrobe, and they just kind of tolerate. And I really feel like, from what we've talked about, you're more towards the product, because you almost seem to start with, I want this garment in my wardrobe, and knitting is the way to get there. Whereas, I finish my thing, and after we photograph it, I fold it up and put it in a box.
I think that is a really accurate representation of me as a knitter. And so, yeah, that, because also if the end result isn't what I want, I will frog something in a heartbeat.
Yep.
So I think it's particularly interesting when we're talking about my designing, because you and I have a very different design philosophy too. So like, you think it all the way out and you write it down and then you make it. I knit it and I'm like, no, I don't like that part. And I take that part out, and then I'll knit a little more and I'll write notes while I do it. So like, when I write a pattern, it almost always is after I've already made it, after I've already made that item. So I think it's a end result. Like, once I see the result and I like it, then it's like, all right, let's write this pattern.
Okay, so if you could talk more, because I remember we've talked about knitting as being fashion forward, as opposed to, there's definitely the part of knitting where you're creating a timeless piece that is, because you're putting time and effort into it, your great grandkids are going to wear it. And you, I think, approach it more as how knitwear can be part of a modern evolving wardrobe. Mm-hmm. And how knitwear can be fashion forward and incorporated into your personal style. And that's what I was hoping you might be able to talk a little bit about.
Sure. That's another really good explanation. See, I can tell you're listening when we're talking to each other. I love that.
I try.
So I think that for me, how I got there was, I love J. Crew. And if you look at a J. Crew catalog, you're going to see items that have been freshened up, but essentially it's the same thing that they've been selling for 30 years. Mm-hmm. So a cabled cardigan, a cabled pullover. And instead of being in camel color this year, it's in navy blue. So I felt like knitting your own stuff, you could have that same effect. So you can knit a timeless shell. There's the silk shell has never gone out of style since, what would you say, the 20s or 30s?
I believe you. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's part of Art Deco, honestly. You're an Art Deco girl.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of using your imagination some, and also looking at the stuff you already like and finding a way to incorporate that shape and style into what you actually want to make. And then you can make the color you actually want.
See, and that's one of those things. There are people who, they're knitters who have a difficult time branching out from the colors or the yarns that the designer has selected. How do you feel when a knitter takes something you've done and makes it their own and changes the color or something like that? What is your stance on that?
Oh my God. So, I have a bit of a problem with authority. It's a thing. So when I'm involved with a pattern, whether it's me writing or whether it's me knitting someone else's, I'm literally saying, I don't want to be like you. So I came to knitting, and I actually came to designing by way of wanting to make the thing I want and for it to be just a representation of me.
Okay.
So when you see my design and I've knitted in the colors that either I was sent or colors that I picked, I absolutely want you to be like, actually, I would love that in black. That would make me super happy.
And it really needs long sleeves. So
that's my whole life. I tell you, I can't even knit my own patterns more than once because I'm like, well, since I'm here, this could really use a long sleeve.
And I can totally see you, how about a cable right here?
And then I tink back and I add it in there. It's true. So yeah, I want people to make something because you've taken the time to create it with your own hands. So to me, part of the point in that is you make a piece of art that's just your piece of art versus a replica of my piece of art. Now, if that doesn't move you, if you feel like I did it perfectly already, then by all means, but I definitely want people to feel encouraged.
Yeah, and I mean, when someone decides to do it exactly how I did it, I do take that as a compliment. That's like, yeah, I nailed that one. But it doesn't upset me if someone changes it because it's like, yay, it's theirs now. And occasionally, man, why didn't I think of that? Like, that looks so cool. You said something about, you mentioned making it yourself and wanting to be you, which really dovetails nicely into, in the knitting and fiber industry, I have found that knitters and crafters, fiber people tend to really like puns. And I personally think that your business name is the best, hands down, mic drop, knitting pun, fiber pun I have run into. So could you mention how you came to that and what that might be?
Oh, yes. So I'm disturbing the fleece. I felt really, I'm so glad people like it. I felt super clever. I went through a lot of things before I got to it. So I wanted to convey that my sense of style is modern. I feel like I kind of have a sort of 80s punk sort of feeling to my work. And if you think of like 80s punk, there is a lot of anti-establishment.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of anti-authority themes.
A little Sex Pistols there.
Right. So I figured it made sense to kind of go with something that would be about kind of standing out. And it also took into account the fact that I'm a Black designer in what is a heavily non-Black community and a heavily non-Black set of professionals. And so like, instead of just serving the piece by, showing up as this person of color who has super colorful work and hair and a big personality, instead of disturbing the piece, I'm disturbing the fleece.
It's fabulous. And I believe that do you have something to show us with that?
I do. So if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen me post about these pins. They're adorable. I love them. But I thought that I was ordering 100, but I got 1,000. So here it is. It's
I'm gonna open up so they can see mine.
Oh, yay.
I've been hanging on. I have mine right here. Y'all know, you've seen me unbox things. I'm horrible at this. Oh my gosh, somebody on a knitting group on Facebook posted a picture where they got a yarn shipment and when they opened it up, they cut their skein. That is like my worst nightmare. Like, oh no.
I have that same nightmare. And so like I'm super stingy with my trimming to prevent any shenanigans.
Okay, here we go. You know what? You got this in here good. How did you even get that to fit in there?
I bought that to specifically fit the pin.
Oh, that makes sense. So here we go. You're so cute.
We're twinsies. Oh, yours is turned the correct way. Great.
Oh, excellent. Are there ones that are turned incorrectly?
No, my video is not mirrored. Okay,
Well,
and then
we'll find out in the recording whether or not they're correct. But see this super cool, disturbing the fleece, and I love the attitude that this little guy has. I'm gonna take it out of the shiny. Look at the eyebrow. Focus, please. There we go. He's got a great eyebrow. It's so cute, and it says "You are one of a kind." So these enamel pins are fantastic and really trendy right now, and I think it's super cute. And you can get these in your Etsy shop, right?
Yes, and right now I'm offering free shipping in hopes that more of them go home with other people.
Aren't in your house anymore. So there'll definitely be a link in the description below.
Sorry, even that tagline is about what the brand is about, which is, you know, being the best version of yourself, whatever that is.
Very cool.
So it's all in there.
Well, and really, I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of us knit is to make something that's ours. And even if it's just that you messed up something and one of the cables is going the wrong way, it makes it one of a kind. It's handmade. It's special like that. Yeah. So that is super cool. Okay, so you mentioned your Instagram, and it's Disturbing the Fleece on Instagram, right?
Yes.
So I pulled up some images from Instagram because, as I said, I wanted to talk about what's really cool about what Fatima does is she wears her knits, but she doesn't wear them in outfits that are like, I am wearing knitwear, you know. It's that she incorporates it into a really trendy, fun, cool look. Especially also, do you get the people being like, wow, you live in Atlanta, it's so hot, why do you knit? Have you gotten that before?
I do, and that's so funny to me because I wear every weight, and I wear all of the types of knitwear that I make. So socks and hats and scarves. So yeah, I do get that. People are like, oh, well, I would knit this, but I live in Atlanta. And I'm like, what?
So there's different fibers and stuff. So I want to show this. So I'm going to use the screen share thingamajigger here and click on this.
This is all very fancy.
It is so fancy. Here we go. So this first one, and what's the name? This is one of your designs. What's the name of this design?
So this one was originally called Sunrise Over Persia. And PayPal tagged it for the word Persia.
Interesting.
And so they held payment, and then they stopped accepting payment at all. So
oh, wow.
I renamed it. It was very strange. So I renamed it to Sunrise Over Blue Skies because I like alliteration.
Yes, I like those too. Makes me think of the Mr. Blue Sky, the song.
Oh, yeah.
The one that Baby Groot's dancing to in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I like how you found a way to include Groot.
Hey, you know what? That is also something I end up watching on YouTube. It's like, oh, Baby Groot videos. Yes, please.
So the reason I had used Persia to begin with is this is a Malabrigo. Both of these colors are Malabrigo sock. And the top is ochre, and the blue part is actually called Persia. That's
it's a gorgeous color. Oh, that makes sense. And the detail.
It is. I was really excited about it.
And so the detail here is slip stitch, right?
Yes.
Because I love slip stitch.
I know you do. I know you do.
And talk about this outfit. What you got going on here, because you know how much I love these shoes.
Those shoes, you can wear those shoes with anything. So what I did with this sweater is I was thinking about it like a camisole essentially, just with long sleeves. And so I put a tank top under it to break up the color because the sweater has a lot of blue in it and the skirt I'm wearing is navy blue.
Okay.
Also, that skirt, you may not be able to see it. That skirt has eyelets on it as well.
Okay.
So
Oh, you can see it right here.
Yeah, I love that skirt. So I put the tank top there to break up the two textures and the two blues so that you could really see that they're two separate things.
Oh, I would have never thought of that. So that's brilliant.
So that way you also see where the sweater ends. You don't lose that line of yellow. And then you can transition to, oh, now there's eyelets. I'm wearing tights. So it's funny that you're right. People are like, well, when do you wear these things? I mean, essentially, I'm wearing a wool sweater and some tights and some Oxfords. Like, this is perfect for fall temperature. Also, if you work indoors, my other job is I teach middle school. So it's always freezing in the building. So, like, I can wear a wool sweater almost year round. And those shoes are actually custom made. It's a company called Julia Bow.
Oh, cool.
And they let you design your own. And so I just picked silver on silver. And what I love about those shoes, if you decide to follow my Instagram, I hope you do, those shoes make every outfit.
They are fantastic. I didn't know those were designed self. That is really cool. I'll get that link for you so I can put it in the description where people can maybe get their shiny shoes. That is super cool.
They do a gold version too. That's my next purchase is the gold version.
Okay, so the next one we've got here, what is this one?
So this is Modcast. This is maybe the favorite thing I've ever knit and designed. So what I love about it is it's got the shape of a sweatshirt. So literally I'm like, oh, it's chilly in the house. I'll throw this on. Oh, I'm gonna go to work. I throw that on. So the colors make it interesting. There's also two cables, if you look closely, where the colors change. There's two cables as well.
So are there two cables on this side too?
It's two different cables. So the blue is one type of cable, and then when you change colors, you also change the style of cable.
Oh, wow. That is really cool.
Thanks. And so this one is really a comfy sort of wear anywhere type of sweater. So here I styled it with loose fitting jeans. Those are Levi's 501 jeans. They're kind of my go-to wear everywhere. I'm a mom jean. So they are really durable and they go with everything. So I've also worn that sweater with fitted pants as well. And so I just think it goes with everything.
I like the very comfy collar. It's just kind of a loose, floppy.
Yep.
Kind of like a sweatshirt.
That is exactly what I was going for, is a sweatshirt. So I'm wearing it with positive ease so that it is further part of the comfy sort of setup. And the shoes are Vans, because I love Vans and they're very comfortable. So this was probably a Friday going to school outfit would be my guess.
Casual day. Casual day.
And with this particular design, there will be a knit along launching for it in October.
Oh, how cool.
So I'm going to discount the pattern starting probably next week to entice people to join me.
Fantastic.
And, so there'll be a knit along and we'll start in October. It's kind of complex because you've got multiple things happening at once. So I thought it'd be fun for us to knit it together.
So in the construction, the sleeves are going side to side, right?
Yep.
And then do you like pick up around the neck and knit in the round?
You know, I don't do seaming, Barbara.
I know.
So you start here and you knit up the arm and across the yoke and down the arm. And then you pick up here and knit down to get the body. Yeah. And then you pick up here and knit up to get the neck. Okay. And you can add as much neck or as little neck as you want.
Okay, very cool. So I'll have that information in the description below. Now these next three pictures are the same tank top styled in three different ways. So we've got it. I love that you chose to just do this little tucky tuck here because you have on the, are these, do I dare say, skinny jeans?
Barbara, bite your tongue.
Skinny jeans. Again.
These are slim straight is what Gap called
Okay.
them.
And then we've got it with this incredibly cute skirt completely tucked in, which is adorable. And then we've got it out with a wide leg. Is this a jean again?
That's a linen pants, a linen trouser.
Oh, very cool. Oh, nice. So this is a little more upscale. It's interesting though, because it's a little more dressy, but also looks like the closest to you wearing pajamas.
Right? And it feels like I'm wearing pajamas. Yeah. So when you look at my fashion choices, you'll see a lot of J. Crew in there. I think that their stuff is really timeless, and I can wear it over a period of years, and it lasts a long time. You'll also see those same gray jeans that are the first one that you showed. They call them slim straight. It's basically like a high-waisted jegging type of situation. Those can get worn with everything. I'm wearing them right now, actually. So those are like items that I wear a lot. That skirt is actually custom made. I try really hard to engage makers and have makers thoughtfully and slowly make things versus like a fast fashion type of situation. But I'm a knitter, so like the things I make are going to take a long time, and I intend to keep them a long time. So yeah, I had that custom made. And I love that skirt. It's actually in the pink one too. I modeled the pink tank top with it as well. So you
yes. And so this, I think, is an example of what you said, that when you're designing, you do this, you do that, and you're not necessarily satisfied. This, you said, is a prototype, right?
Yes. And actually this yellow version, I made it specifically for that skirt.
Oh, okay. So this was the idea, but then when you finally published it, what is its name?
What is it called now? Oh, it's the Adventure Tank. So I did a what I think is a new invention of a knit along, and I called it the Adventure Knit Along.
Okay.
So I released one instruction as I wrote it, so you guys got to knit it as I was knitting it.
That is an adventure.
It was very exciting. So if I was making something, if I was working on it and one of the testers, because you're kind of a tester, but you're also kind of an adventurer with me. That's what I call them, as adventurers. So if you said, so like the neckline, for example, some people, when they cast on with the regular needle size, their gauge got lost. So they switched to a smaller needle. So I added that note to the pattern.
Okay.
Also, because it was an adventure, it was free. So I posted instructions one by one on Instagram.
That is really cool.
Anybody on Instagram could knit it. You could go back and get those instructions right now if you'd like. Or you could have bought the pattern for $1 and gotten it like printed one instruction at a time, or in a pattern version of one instruction at a time.
But now it's available just as a regular pattern, correct?
Yes, and it's called the Adventure Tank.
The Adventure Tank. And so I really like, so this detail here on the side, is this doing any shaping here, or is it just straight?
No.
Okay.
Nope, it's just straight. What I wanted is for this to have a camisole feeling. And also, I think most of the things I design can be worn by any person. So regardless of gender, regardless of shape, as long as you can find your bust or chest measurement. And so like if you add shaping, then that decidedly makes it feminine.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But being knit out of silk and linen means you still get this beautiful drape. It's still very graceful.
I want to stop my screen share right now, because I think I really want to touch on something you just said, because, it brought something else to mind, that one of the things that I know you do is try to make unisex designs. And I was wondering if you could speak more about that.
I do. I think that fashion is one of those things that should be accessible to everybody. I think that everybody has the creativity. I think every body is the right body for clothes. So when I'm designing things, literally as I'm making it, I'm like, what makes this a women's garment? There's not any reason this is a women's garment. And that's how I felt even before I actually started articulating that part. So I would say that everything I make, if you pick a color that you like, it's now a garment for you.
There you go.
I think people's creativity is being squashed by trying to only go with fashion norms, which are super narrow. I mean, you know, who doesn't want a beautiful soft tank top? Like, that's not a feminine desire. So hopefully that'll encourage people to try it.
So I wanted to bring that out because I know that you've designed shawls, well, for men that are unisex, that will work either for men or for women, and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's a really interesting, you know what, I'm going to try to pull up real quick. I'm on your Ravelry page here.
Okay.
And where you've got look at all these gorgeous things, people. It's all crazy. This one.
I thought that's probably where you were going.
Yes. So you can see that you've taken this same motif and interpreted it in a couple different directions to show that anybody can wear this. And I wanted to show that one. And the other one is
it's the companion piece to that. It's right beside it.
This one here. Yeah, a Willix. So there we go. Guy in a shawl. Because you don't have to wear a shawl like, woo, it's a big flowy wings. And then we have a similar, so the instructions, are these two different sizes in the pattern, or how does it work?
Actually, again, because I cannot be bothered to go with the norms, it's the exact same pattern. I just tell you, if you're going to make the lace weight version, to cast on more stitches. So just like you would have the size distinctions if I were making a bigger one, it's written that way for lace weight versus worsted weight. But to make this one more masculine or more able for any gender to wear, is I got rid of the point that's at the end. It's not something that I enjoy in a shawl when I'm making it, and so I got rid of it. So because it's blunt on the end.
Okay. And they're blunt, like here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
it makes it less girly.
Did you style your lovely model here?
I did. That's my sister.
I know.
That's my sister, and that's my brother-in-law, actually.
I love that she's in heels. Was that you?
No, that was her.
Well, she is a little short.
she's a little bit, and she is a lover of tights. And so, but the jacket and the layered over the shirt, that's me.
I just love it and the jacket echoes this. I just love that it's the heels and the jacket, and it's just a great look. So I wanted to show those. Is there any other one that you think really shows the unisexuality? I don't know, that's a word, I just made it up.
Actually, so what you and I have discussed is people tend to be able to go from something for men to something for women, but they have a hard time going back the other way.
Yeah.
But actually, the nether brick cardigan, that is the one. Marco is in it. Like,
okay, here I can go here. And this comes from your mild Minecraft addiction, correct?
It's a tiny addiction. Yes. My family is deeply involved in Minecraft. And when I knit this in this color, it made me think of nether bricks, which is basically the Minecraft version of the underworld.
Yep.
So this, I do put shaping in it, but I put shaping in it for a body that is male, in that the shaping is in the back instead of at the hip. So if you look at a tailored man's shirt, the shaping is just below the shoulder blades in the middle of the back. And so that's what I did here.
Interesting.
But anybody can wear it. So it would be perfectly lovely on a body that has a defined waist, a body that doesn't. The shaping is also optional, which I tell you, hey, if you don't want any shaping, don't knit any shaping.
Don't shape it. Yes,
don't
because
shape
it's
it. But
yours.
yeah, it's yours, and I want it to be whatever you want.
Very cool.
So yeah.
And then the last pictures I had pulled, now we discussed whether or not we want to show these because these are not your designs, but you're a knitter and you've been knitting a long time. And again, wanted to show the styling that you do on these pieces. So this is, I mean, what kind of collar would you call that?
So it's kind of a, I feel like they basically just they just started the sweater and knit it straight and then started raglan shaping.
Okay.
So I would call this like a straight sort of situation.
Yeah, because it's not a shawl collar, but it definitely flops open. It's got a
if you lay it down flat, it just is it goes straight until you get to the raglan shaping.
Interesting. But what you've chosen here with the polka dots and again your shiny shoes, it's just, I think it looks really sharp, and I think the polka dots really make it pull it away from looking so traditional. Is that what you're doing there? I'm learning.
Yeah, that in the orange, look at you, that in the orange pants. So actually, if you read the caption, I too was like, oh my God, I'm genius. I've had that sweater for more than 10 years. And every time I wore it, I was a little grumpy because I couldn't make it so that I loved it. Okay. And I just acquired that's a J. Crew shirt.
Not sponsored by J. Crew.
I know, but I tagged them because like, for real. So that's a J. Crew shirt. It's their perfect fit. And those pants are, again, so for me, I figured out that a style that I really like of pant is a high-waisted straight leg. It works well for my mom bod. So those are Lands' End corduroys, and they come in like 1,000 colors. I don't know. I have 4 colors of those. So I put orange and blue as a classic. So I was like, okay, orange and blue. That's another thing is this color pants. Me and these cords have been fighting forever as well because I'm like, what do you go with? Why did I buy this? And the cardigan is grayish. So I was like, all right, gray is a play on silver. And so that goes with the shirt. My belt buckle is silver also.
See, that's the attention to detail that just right over my head. You like, what color is your belt buckle? I was like, what? I don't own a belt.
Yeah, my pants will slide off if I do not wear a belt.
Not a problem I have.
I have to get them taken in, and I usually do not have the time. So, so yeah, that something else to point out about that is that sweater is a quarter sleeve. Okay. But I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt under it.
That is really cool. And again, it brings those polka dots out, and that looks really cool.
I love the polka dots. And I have orange earrings. My sister bought them for me as a gift, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to wear them all together. Here we go.
And it just works together. And so then we've got this. So this is, I mean, does it get more traditional than a colorwork cardigan? I mean,
indeed.
It really is. And what you've done here. And this skirt, is it tweed? Is it, what's going on there? It is tweed. You're in tweed?
I just like to keep it fresh, Barbara. So not only is that a tweed skirt, it is a vintage tweed skirt.
Oh, cool.
So my mom owned it, and I found it, and I was like, mine! So I have a traditional piece, and then I Fatima-fied it.
There you go.
So that's a colorwork cardigan. That's something else that, you know, we've talked about how my point is getting to something that I want to wear. I had it as a cardigan that you tie closed for the first probably 10 years, maybe longer, that I owned it. And I was like, I really just want to button this cardigan. And the shawl is too small. Why did I do this? And so I actually took out the edge, literally 10 years later.
After 10 years?
Yep. I
Oh
added
my
more
gosh.
ribbing so that the front was deeper and the collar was longer. Then when I cast off with I-cord so that I could create buttonholes, and I sewed on the buttons. And I was like, this is who I wanted you to be the whole time.
That is amazing.
And the sweater, so the under it is just one of those thin turtlenecks that they layering. It's in brown. And my tights, again, the way that this makes it into the winter for me is my tights are orange. Who has orange tights? Why not, I say?
Yeah, the pop of those, I think, really is what brings this particular ensemble into being super modern, because it's traditional, and then that pop of the tights just really is like completely unexpected and takes it.
Yeah.
I really think it's cool.
That tweed actually has a little orange in it.
Oh, cool.
And so that's what gave me the idea to put the orange tights on there. I bought those because I was like, well, I don't have any orange tights. And that's another thing that for a long time I was like, what am I going to do with this?
It's awesome. Okay. Color. I adore this particular outfit. And you said that this scarf is probably one that how many thousands of knitters have made?
10, 20, 100,000. I don't even know.
So it's the Stephen West Boneyard, right?
No, this is Herbivore.
Herbivore. Okay. And this brilliant green with the yellow, and then you have a long sleeve shirt under the dress and tights. I just never in a million years would I have put all of this together. So what the heck's going on here?
Okay, so I'm a busty girl, and it's hard to find a dress off the rack that will cover everything appropriately. And so this dress is super duper old, but it's got enough space for all of the things it needs to have space for. And it was the fall, and I was like, one of the things I decided probably 2 or 3 years ago is like, why do we always go drab for the fall and the winter? I mean, it's not like yellow is less warm. So
yellow leaves, man. Yellow leaves.
Right. I don't know why we do it. And so I was like, okay, this dress fits great, and there's enough space to put a long sleeve shirt under it. Another thing I was thinking about is, do you remember like when you were a little girl, maybe it was just me, that you wore a jumper? Do you remember the jumper? And so essentially it's a dress that's like a tank, and then you put something under it. And so it's like, I'm going back to jumpers, people.
I am pretty sure that I have a picture of me wearing a jumper with a plaid shirt under it. So it's like a corduroy jumper with like a Laura Ingalls Wilder plaid shirt under it.
I got one of those too.
I
better not find a corduroy dress that I can fit today, because you better believe. So yellow and gray are a classic combination.
Yeah.
So that yellow, the gray long sleeve shirt under there is actually striped.
Oh, cool.
Because why not? So it's got a light and a dark stripe. It's a J. Crew piece. Sorry, it's a Gap piece. And then
same difference.
Well, you know, somewhere people are weeping. J. Crew and Gap both do items that I think are really classic and that you can keep forever. And so the shirt brings that visual interest. Another thing to notice is the dress actually on top of me in yellow. It has those horizontal pin tucks.
Yes.
Vertical pin tucks, but the shirt has horizontal stripes. So there's something happening right there. And it's actually got a floral print on it. The dress does.
Oh, wow. I can see it if I look real close.
It's a spring item, but I was like, says who? So I put on the.
Because you're the boss.
I'm the boss of my own clothes. Once I really understood that, and what's the worst that happens? You put the outfit on and you're like, oh my God, this isn't it. Like, that's literally the worst. So I started just doing whatever I wanted, and if it didn't work, I just took it off.
Oh, there you go. What's the worst?
But another thing I want to point out there is I'm wearing black leather combat boots. Those are also my wear with everything. So I've worn them with a sequined cocktail dress.
Nice.
People were like, what? I was like, look how comfortable I am, y'all.
I can kick your butt.
Right. I can run in these. And then, you know, green and yellow are classic combinations.
Yes. And I love the way it went together.
Yeah, that green yarn actually has little yellow, like,
the green definitely has a yellow background. Sometimes greens have more blue backgrounds, and that maybe would not have worked so well, but that really does. And then
see, you're doing it.
See, I can try. You know what? I can explain why it looks good, but if you just give me clothes, I just stare at them. I'm just like, clothes. This is sweater underneath the jean jacket. And do you have then again another shirt underneath the sweater?
I do.
And that's one of the ways people look at lace tops and are like, it's see-through. So you put a top underneath it, right?
Boom.
Done.
Yeah, so with this one, I've worn a bunch of different tops under this one. This sweater is Rusted Root.
Okay.
I love it. This is one where I made changes to it and then I didn't like it, and I actually went back and took it out so that it would be what I wanted.
You're the queen of that.
I will frog a whole garment, you know that.
I know.
So with this one, part of the layering look that you see in catalogs and when you see somebody who is fashion styled is they literally just put on more tops. So many more tops.
Extra top.
More, you know what this outfit needs? Another top. So I picked a camisole that is in the same color family to put under my sweater because the sweater, since it has that lace panel, I didn't want to draw attention to it necessarily. Mm-hmm. And the camisole is the same color as my sneakers, which I got in Paris. Those are Nike Air Force Ones.
You got your fancy Velcro sneaker.
So yeah, it's a short sleeve sweater. And by putting the jean jacket on top, it adds this extra visual interest. And that necklace is handmade also and has a bluish purple bead to it. And so I thought that it would be nice to draw in the blue from the jacket.
Yeah, I really like it. And it's just, and then these pants, I mean, they're almost army green. I mean, they're right on the edge of, if it had a big pocket, it'd be a cargo pant kind of situation.
I think that's what they were going for because the pockets have a big square. The pockets are not
they're seamed.
big,
but
the seam makes it look like it's a lot of pocket.
Yeah, because we all know women's pants and pockets are not necessarily best friends. Together.
It is true, but I want to say that yarn is the brown sheep cotton fleece. So it's 80% cotton and 20% wool, and it may seem like it would be too warm, but because it's so cottony, I was wearing this in the spring. It's super comfortable, and because of the wool, it holds its shape. So the fact that you can see the outline of my waist, I actually sewed in knitted darts in there, and it actually holds its shape.
And so was that a modification you made?
It is. It took a lot of tries to get it. But cotton yarn in general doesn't hold shape. It doesn't have any memory. And so that just little bit of wool makes it hold its shape.
Okay. And that gets into designing and smart designing. And you design garments. And I mean, it's those little touches that you think about. And it's one of those things because you did say you prefer to knit things in the round, but a cotton garment sort of really like seams because it helps hold the structure. So adding in that to a garment is going to give it some structure, right? Trying to understand garment design, because that's one of the things I don't know nothing about.
So I'm going to cheat.
Okay.
Because I don't want to make a seam. So what I do in that case is, because silk actually is the same way. Silk will drape until all is lost, really. And so one of the ways that I build structure in is by the shape of the garment. So like this tank top is knit from the top down and the shoulders are seamed. So that's some structure right there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, instead of knitting the collar as I'm working it, I pick it up. So that tightens all of these edges so that they also have more structure.
Okay.
And the same thing with the edging on the arms. So by picking it up after, it pulls tight the edge of the strap.
Mm-hmm.
And then because the knitting is going in a different direction, it also is holding it because they're not going the same way.
It like stabilizes it.
Yes. So
Okay,
I specifically do that.
Okay, so the top that you are wearing, if you could lean back a little bit, what's the name of this?
This is called Savannah Cool.
And this is new, right?
Yes, this is the last thing, and this is the most recent thing I released. I thought it looked kind of like those retro tank tops. I have apparently a strong 80s lean to my sense of fashion. I did not know that until I started looking at all of my things together. But it made me think of like when you would like go on vacation and like when we went places. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was so long ago. So it made me think like when you're on vacation and you know, are wearing like, in this case, it's 100% silk. I got yarn support from the very lovely people at Barocco.
Mm-hmm.
But it would go great with a pair of shorts. I styled it in shorts and in a pair of linen trousers.
Okay, so thank you so much for giving me so much time. I know that you have busy things and places you need to go. I just noticed what time it was because we could talk forever. And thank you so much for sharing with me, like trying to get into my skull about how to style things. And oh, we didn't mention the sweater behind you. What is its name?
Oh, yeah. So this one actually doesn't have a name. One of the things that Disturbing the Fleece is branching out into is creating finished pieces.
Oh, cool.
And so this sweater is one that you can order to have it custom made. So I would make it for you in colors that you pick. This one was custom made for a recent high school graduate. Her college is in Vermont and she's from Texas. So her aunt wanted her to have something warm to take with her to college. So this is on my Etsy shop as well. You would custom order it and you would pick your own colors and I would knit it and it would appear.
That is the best way to get it wherever. Poof, you've got it. So
That's true.
Again, thank you so much. Did I miss anything? I feel like we could do a whole nother one of these and talk about all kinds of other stuff.
We'll have to ask your followers again what else they want to hear about, and we can talk about more stuff. I don't think so. I think we covered everything. You guys follow me on Instagram. I love talking about clothes. I love fashion, not from the standpoint of showing off to other people, but more from the standpoint of expressing who I am through my clothes. So I would love to talk to you about it. If you have a shawl that you have no idea what to do, tag me. Let's talk about it. I'll give you some ideas. You know, I like talking about clothes. You know that.
Yes. And if you look at any of my patterns and you see that Fatima's modeling and you're like, wow, that's a really cool way to wear whatever that is, I can 100% guarantee you that it wasn't me that figured that out. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It was super fun. I would talk to you anytime.
Yay. I wish, I like Florida, but Atlanta had its good points. The way I wrap things up is I tell people to click that like button if they enjoyed the video and to subscribe to the channel and select notifications if you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fatima. Bye-bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye.